All right, while conducting a rear stationary radar on State Road 400 within mile marker 425 westbound, I visually estimated a vehicle in lane 2 traveling at approximately 85 miles per hour, close to 70. Audio Doppler was present, display readout was 84 and posted 70. I overtook the vehicle, identified the driver by Florida driver's license. Driver stated that they were late for an appointment. I returned to my vehicle and issued a citation for speed. This occurred in Polk County, Florida.
This is the morning of July 28th when I conducted the test on that includes using tuning forks, measuring that the radar is accurate. Then later that evening, after I issue these citations, I do the same thing to make sure that it's accurate. I use 2 different tuning forks that measure the speed to make sure they're within a certain.
Do you have the radar reading?
We begin. Where's that?
I think we have certificate. It's on my vehicle. Continue it. My radar certificate's in my vehicle. I'll just dismiss it, Your Honor. It is my vehicle, but
Your Honor, I'm willing to proceed without it if the trooper would like to.
I would appreciate it.
I do. Trooper, how long have you been employed with the Florida Highway Patrol?
2 years.
And what's your primary function while on duty?
Traffic enforcement.
Without looking at your notes, do you recall this day clearly?
I do.
And can you tell the court and myself how the weather was and the traffic?
It was clear. Weather was clear. There was no rain. Roads were dry.
How was traffic?
Traffic is always heavy on I-4.
And if you don't mind, if you just briefly explain to me again the events that led up to the traffic stop on my vehicle.
I was on the shoulder conducting rear stationary radar. I observed the vehicle all alone in lane 2, visually estimated at 85. Activated my radar, audio Doppler was present, and audio Doppler is present. It signifies that there's a vehicle at a high rate of speed. Display readout was 84, posted 70. That confirms the speed. From that point, I pulled you over.
Trooper, you just stated that the traffic was heavy that day. Is that correct?
For the most part, it was heavy. However, when I got you, you were all by yourself. There was no traffic by you.
So you don't recall if I had a dash cam video, you wouldn't recall any vehicles in front of, beside, or behind me?
I wouldn't recall that, honestly.
And while you were monitoring the heavy traffic, is it true that you suddenly received an alert from your radar that indicated there was a vehicle traveling at a speed higher than the posted speed limit?
It wasn't suddenly. What I do is I watch in my mirror vehicles coming to my position, and then I'll hear a tone with the audio Doppler, which signifies that there is a vehicle coming. And then I look at the display readout, which confirms the vehicle that I visually estimated.
So on that day with heavy traffic, I'm sure it's safe to say that the audio Doppler was on and off.
On and off. Thankfully, though, when I got you, you were the only vehicle that I seen at the time.
And do you recall where you were sitting on the day in question?
I do not recall. May have been the right shoulder or the left shoulder.
So if you don't recall the day in question where you were sitting on this specific day, how can you recall if there was a vehicle in front of, behind, or beside me?
Because I have notes here signifying that you were there, I have you all alone strongly pulling away from traffic.
Wouldn't it be wise to make notes of where you were sitting? That way, if there was a question on which way traffic was headed or which lane it was in.
On that day, I issued over 15 citations in reference to speed.
And you said you've been employed for 2 years. Of those 2 years, roughly how many traffic stops have you initiated?
Over 1,000.
Over 1,000. And of those traffic stops, those 1,000, roughly how many have been for unlawful speed?
Over 800.
So recalling the roughly 800 plus traffic stops for unlawful speed, which speed measurement device was primarily used to determine the defendant's alleged speed at that time?
It's always my radar,
Always.
stalker dual.
So it's fair to say you're experiencing the operation of radar as a speed measurement device.
Yes.
And if you can, just please tell us in the court how you calibrated your radar that morning and that evening of that shift, the process on how you perform
It's
that.
the same process every morning. Before I take law enforcement activity, is I use tuning forks. Each have a serial number unique to them. Each have a certain resonance, and they display a readout on the radar of speed when they hum. The beginning test was successful. The end test of that day was successful as well.
Is your stalker dual radar equipped with the automatic calibration button?
It is.
And was that the way you may have calibrated it that morning?
That's one of the, I test with the tuning forks. I also test with the self-test button.
So it's safe to say over your 2 years of experience with the Florida Highway Patrol and your over 1,000 traffic stops, that you're well versed in several traffic violations in the state of Florida,
Yes, sir.
not limited to exceeding posted speed limit, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And of the 800 or so speeding tickets that you've issued, how many of those have resulted in a traffic court hearing trial type like today?
Probably 300, 400.
300-400. When you began working with the Florida Highway Patrol, at the beginning or any time since you've been employed, have you been provided with a copy of the Florida Highway Patrol policy manual?
Yes.
Is it true that you yourself have read or someone else has read the contents of that policy manual?
That's correct.
Did you understand that it's provided?
Yes.
I've got a copy here of the Florida Highway Patrol policy manual. 17.03 on page 9 of policy 17.
You said 1709?
Yes, correct.
That's the first report of injury or illness?
Oh, I'm sorry, 1703, page 9. Actually, we're going to refer to page 4. It's 1703, page 4. Section 2, subsection D states that the charge of unlawful speed, the method of speed measurement, and any applicable serial number shall be noted in the comments section. If a patrol's car's calibrated speedometer is used to obtain an unlawful speed, the patrol car's tag number shall be listed in the comments section. If aircraft is used to obtain unlawful speed, the stopwatch number and pilot's name shall be listed in the comments section. So according to your testimony, Trooper Ellsworth, you indicated that you determined my speed with a speed measurement device called a radar. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And according to Florida Highway Patrol policy, the method of speed measurement, which would be radar, did you list that on the citation?
Yes, sir. It's right here. It's a Stalker Dual, Delta Charlie 090694.
Trooper, is Stalker Dual the make and model of the radar?
That's correct.
So that would not be the actual method that you determine my speed. That would be the make and model, as the method would be the radar, correct?
That's correct.
Your Honor, before I continue, I'd like to provide the court, as well as the trooper, with a memo that was provided by the Department of Highway Safety and Motor Vehicles that was issued December 22nd, 2009. States effective January 1st, 2010, traffic court rules change, which affect how speeding violations are recorded on uniform traffic citation. An amendment to Traffic Court Rule 6.445 requires law enforcement officers to document the type of speed measurement device. In parentheses, it says radar, laser, or pace clock. And the unit number when writing a speeding violation on a uniform traffic citation. Officers who do not comply with this run the risk of having the citation dismissed. This required information must be documented in the comments section of the UTC. Per that memo, Trooper Ellsworth, did you document on the citation any of the radar, laser, pace clock?
Yes, sir.
Okay, where's that at?
It's on the citation. It should be on your copy, and it'll be on the court
I've got
copy.
the original, and I have my copy as well. Thank you, Your Honor. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Last one was, I was just wondering.